Amnesia Fortnight voting has ended, and we're ready to start kicking off the team selection process, which is exciting. And we're going to do that by having our project leaders come up here and pitch their games to you, and then afterwards you will scurry back to your desks and fill out a form ranking the projects of what order you want to work on them in. And Ace has been calculating the team sizes for each one, and it looks like our we'll be able to cover the top 4, and also be able to do one more extra project. So 5 projects altogether is what we're going to be making. Those 5 people will be coming up here and pitching them to you right now.
You guys, the summary is, it was in the video, but just to repeat it a little bit. It's a first-person game, and you're sort of lost in this retro, futuristic, 80s-inspired junkyard world. And the primary thing that you're doing in this world is you're scavenging for found objects, primitives, and constructing automatons. And once you activate these automatons, they're self-directed based on some inputs and energy allocation that you do. And you have to use these guys to survive the world and explore.
I mean, I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I didn't honestly had no idea what would appeal to people. I thought, well, maybe it won't. But I believe in the idea. I think it'd be fun. It's a little different. I like to try something different every time. I didn't want to do another game that was set in the same style as any of the other games I worked on.
So yeah. Okay, I'm on a screen. So yeah, Space Base. It's a sim game. So and it's a fairly it's a sim game where whatever notion of story that we have is actually driven by that sim. There's not an authored story with a script and characters and stuff that starts before the sim happens. It's really just it's like SimCity or The Sims or something where really what you're doing is really what the story of that game is and all that. As far as just general gamer interest, I had no idea. And yeah, and there were ideas that were, just a lot more that I thought were really interesting and well presented and very crowd pleasing that didn't make it. So who knows? I have no understanding of the success of the thing, except maybe just a guess that, saying Sci-Fi Dwarf Fortress turns a magical key in many a nerd's mind.
So the White Birch, I'm a big fan of Eco and Journey, and so I like the spirit and the mood of those games, and so I was trying to pitch something that kind of came from the same sort of place, but didn't necessarily look or play exactly like those 2 games. I was really flattered, and I felt like I'd tapped into, maybe a bunch of people who felt the same way that I did, that we weren't getting the games that we wanted, and maybe waiting for The Last Guardian is just a little bit too hard.
So hey guys. Hey! So I'm sitting in an airport bar camp. I wasn't able to...
I mean, honestly, I wasn't expecting to be in the top 4, so it was really exciting to see the game do so well. It was a weird idea, and it's something that I thought was going to be pretty niche, and honestly, I think probably it still is. I think it just kind of got lucky that it was kind of the right audience for it, right? It's Double Fine fans, like something that sort of, games that sort of turn some kind of element on its side that sort of separates them from normal games. That weirdness, I think, is an important touch in most Double Fine games. Plus, I think the Humble Bundle audience has a lot of people who are developers, and so would be interested in something that kind of lets you look behind the scenes of the game, or just people who are into kind of nerdy programmery things. Obviously, it's a big sort of Linux contingent of people who follow that stuff. And so I think both of those things probably helped me out a bit.
This is a game that I really showed Tim before it was a game. It was about a year ago, and he looked at me and he said, "I really like what you've got going on here, but it's just art. There's not much to it, and it's not really a game." And since then, he's caught me getting coffee down there, and he doesn't bring up weather, he doesn't bring up how's it going, he says, "Where's your game?" And this has been going on for about a year now. And I would really like to thank him because he has caused me to think about that. And he has caused me to go back and keep working on this. And I'm pretty happy with where Black Lake is. I was happy to be anywhere in it. After the point where I watched all 23 of those videos with everybody, I had no clue that mine would go anywhere higher than any of them. I mean, mine has strengths to it, I see, that aren't in other ones, but it has a lot of weaknesses compared to a lot of the other ones. And I mean, this is just a huge amount of learning for what people vibe off of and how to sell yourself. That's really pretty interesting. Black Lake is not a game. It's a small image on a huge TV.
So everybody's ranked Space Base, Autonomous, Hack and Slash, White Birch, and Black Lake in the order that they want. And I asked everybody to not just put their top project, but actually rank each one.
Yeah.
And also say why. Sometimes the reason why they don't want to be on a project is because maybe they heard the project lead say, oh, I don't need anybody, you know, this skill set. And they say, oh, it sounds like a great project, but I'm not needed, so I'm going to rank it lower.
Okay.
And actually, for the most part, that worked. I think we have mostly people in their first or second choices.
Okay.
I think people had a hard time ranking the projects and choosing, you know.
That's good. That's great. I think those are great teams. I think everyone's pretty much, a lot of them just are really natural. Some of them are kind of surprising, but I think they make sense.
All right. I'm JP. I was a designer on The Cave, and I'm happy to introduce this awesome team that we've got to make space-based DF9. I think the idea was kind of, you know, like it's sort of selected for its own team in that sense, because it's like I heard that, you know, a lot of programmers were interested in working on it, and it's because it's such, you know, it's like this sort of technical, you know, anything that's got a strong simulation element is going to fascinate people who think about systems or especially think about code and stuff like that.
Yeah, welcome. I'm glad to have you all. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be cool. I think we can do something cool, and let's try and enjoy this, because it's going to be crazy. We're trying to do something that is cohesive and small. I'd rather do something that's simple and small and feels like it's a whole than something that just hints at what might be if we ever got a chance to finish it. Because, you know, this 2 weeks might be all that ever happens of this project, so I'd like something that we can all take away and want to play over and over and just enjoy as a little chunk of something special. So cohesion is the big thing.
I'm super stoked, guys. This is exactly the team that I wanted to put together, so thank you guys for joining me. Really appreciate it. One of the ways in which I am dumb is that I thought I could program the whole thing myself. And that's ridiculous. Like, I actually, when I was sitting on the plane on the flight home, like laying out the puzzle design and the flow and all that kind of thing, I was like, what did I get myself into?
We just snuck our game into the top 4 somehow. I just got to meet all these people who I usually see around the office, but haven't really worked with in a long time, some of them. So I'm super excited. We have 13 people that we're going to.
This is the biggest team.
Yeah. And it's
so this is gonna be the best game.
It's 13 people, but they're all the best people. So it's gonna be pretty good.
Sweet.
I'm pretty excited.
And I believe that the team is filling in. Oh my god, this is a really loud team. This is gonna be an obnoxious team.
What? What are you talking about?
This is the autonomous team. I don't know where Lee is. Is Lee here? I'm right here. Oh my
Fearless
god.
leader.
Lee is here.
We are looking at the most beautiful, sleek, sexy team ever assembled. Not only in Double Fine, but the entire game industry. Yeah, Team Autonomous.
We should all quit and start our own studio.
Oh! We're defecting! We're defecting! This is it.
Wow.
Yeah. Close the door. Oh, there's no door.
Are you from Texas? What's up?
Well, I think, you know, both the beauty and the, and the challenge is that you really don't have much time to debate. And the beauty of that is a lot of times with a game, it's better just to try it and see than overthink it or over debate it. Not saying you don't want to plan, I don't want to think, but when the Amnesia Fortnight timeline, you only have a limited window for that, and I'd rather that be us responding to things when they're up on the screen and seeing how they're working and come up with ideas how to make it better.
I have inspiration that I think a lot of, it seems like the team likes the kind of idea of the vibes that I'm kind of starting the game as, but it's definitely a jumping off point. And to really make it a team effort, which, I mean, the most successful AFs I've been involved with have been everybody just being on board and having a really strong focus of what the game has a direction to become. Right on.
I don't know how much we want this to be like an adventure game where it's about finding the right item for the right combination and situation and, you know, matching everything together. And that could be cool, but I don't know if that gets away from your initial vision.
I think there's a point that we hit it that we've added too many things to the game. You know, it's really, sometimes it's nice to like go to that point and past that and then look at which new ideas are worth it and which ones are the ones that you want to roll back. And just, I want to keep it simple.
Seems like at its core, it's clue hunt plus tag or avoidance.
Right.
So I'm hunting through these clues.
Yeah.
You have many different tools to help you to do that, and then you're just trying to avoid the bad things.
Yeah. And there's a payoff at the end that
involves
you
really
doing something very creative and lets you go further on.
It's not just my untested hypothesis anymore. It's now being sculpted and changed by all these people who I trust a lot and really enjoy working with. And that's fantastic, you know? I mean, because now it's like, it's already a way better idea than if it had just been something that I had been noodling away on in my spare time. Yeah, like, right, just like somebody dies and what happens to them. Yes, right, yeah. First we deny,
yeah, where does the
then
body,
we grieve.
where does the body go?
Right.
You have to actually put the body on the space. You have to go to an airlock.
Like
yeah, you have to order a guy to pick up the body, take it to an airlock.
So that's a job. That's clearly a job then.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah. The guy who gives
You're not doing that every single.
The guy who gives everybody a Spock funeral.
Yeah.
Basically.
Cool.
This is super exciting. I'm really.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Thanks for pitching this, JP. So,
thank you.
Yeah. No. We'll have something good, I think, but don't quote me on that.
I think all of these ideas are things that the people who are making them are very passionate about and would love to turn into full games. But I think, you know, the great thing about Amnesia Fortnight is that you actually have to go through the process of proving that that's a good idea, right? And that it's actually as interesting as it appears to be in your mind. Who knows if this is that? We'll see. Everybody will get to see.